Well, sometimes just about the time you think you got a deer figured out or you know something about them, they're going to teach you a new lesson. This ranch, to me, has got some of the finest whitetail deer in the world.
For Mr. Whitetail, Larry Weishuhn, it's a date with destiny as he returns to the South Texas ranch where the year before he sighted one of the finest whitetails of his life. The only problem? The deer was too young. Now Weishuhn's back to see the difference a year can make on Winchester's World of Whitetail.
Oh, my God, he's him. He's about 175 yards away. Still a little bit too far for the pistol, but I'm reaching for that icon, that 300 Win Mag. I know what it'll do at that distance.
Winchester's World of Whitetail is brought to you by the Dallas Safari Club, promoting conservation, education, and ethical hunting worldwide. Nikon, the trusted name in optics. Winchester Ammunition, the American legend. Thompson Center, America's master gunmaker. Cabela's, the world's foremost outfitter. The Buck Bomb blows away traditional scents. Bad Boy Buggies, they'll never hear you coming. And by Remote Locations, Secrets of Making Outdoor TV, a 150-page full-color book from Orion Multimedia. Order by phone 1-800-850-9453.
Getting to come home to hunt the Machen Ranch is an absolute, genuine treat as far as I'm concerned. South Texas grows some really huge deer. The Machen Ranch is one of those very special places. This ranch, to me, has got some of the finest whitetail deer in the world. Excellent management program, about a deer to 20 acres. Just one of those situations from a habitat perspective, as far as South Texas goes, you can't beat it.
The Machen Ranch, where Larry Weishuhn's hunting today, lies northwest of the town of Pearsall in what is known as the Golden Triangle of South Texas. When it comes to taking records book whitetail in Texas, more have come from this area than from anywhere else in the state. And that's why Weishuhn's setting his sights so high.
So our game plan is to sit down, rattle, move, rattle. If that doesn't work, then we're going to set up on some of these lonesome areas where we can watch a long way. Hopefully bucks will chase does across. Hopefully they'll come check on the does that are there and really evaluate those deer. Good deer, real massive. Real massive, looks like about a 3-year-old, maybe even 4. It's amazing how fast they come in sometimes. We just walked by there. I had just walked by that fence post. And I saw a doe back in there, and I think maybe he was chasing a doe. When he heard those antlers, he thought another buck had moved in on him. Well, sometimes just about the time you think you got a deer figured out or you know something about them, they're going to teach you a new lesson. But, you know, that's how it goes sometimes. You think about those perfect mornings, and sometimes those perfect mornings are not quite what they're cracked up to be in reality. I've been traveling way too long this year. I can't believe I forgot my binoculars this morning. I feel naked without those. I usually say I'd rather have my binoculars than a gun. Now I left the office this morning real early and forgot I'm not going to get those things before we hunt anymore.
At least from the Machen Ranch, Weishuhn's close enough to home to drive back and retrieve his binoculars. The thought of having a hunting ground like the Machen in your own backyard is a special thing, too.
Not only do I get a chance to hunt what I consider to be the finest whitetail ranch in all of North America, I get to sleep in my own bed at night, which is really kind of a treat as well. Just wipe this thing down just a little bit. Oh man, yeah. One thing I like about my office, it is always November or December in here all year long. 2 finest months of the year. Well, I guess I better get my hat and go. Now, South Texas deer, generally when you get a really hard wind, they're kind of like deer everywhere else. They kind of lay pretty low. And that really is kind of what happened here too. I mean, the deer just really didn't move like we expected them to, particularly during the afternoon even. I mean, generally late in the afternoon, yeah, we've got a full moon approaching, but here on this particular property, generally the afternoons tend to be really good in terms of deer movement, but with that wind, you know, there just wasn't a whole lot moving. That's the way they're supposed to do, except be bigger than that one. He's one of those deer that is so big in antlers, but his body, one of those deer I want to shoot, but just not sure yet. He'll come a little closer. God, they made the decision for me, walked off again.
The Golden Triangle of South Texas is the home to more of the state's record book heads than anywhere else. And now Mr. Whitetail, Larry Weishuhn, is hunting there on the Machen Ranch. One of the questions, though, about managing for trophy deer is what to do with spike bucks, as Weishuhn discusses in this world of management.
For so many years now, we've heard things about spike bucks when you're talking about whitetail deer. Do you shoot spikes? Do you shoot every one that you see? Do you not shoot any? Did they all grow up to be big bucks? Do they stay to be real small kind of bucks? Generally, when you're talking about spikes or you're seeing any number of spikes, it's a nutritional problem. It tells you that there are just simply too many animals in that area for the food that's available, so you have to remove a certain number of animals to bring that population down to what it can support to grow the antlers that that buck or that yearling bucks are capable of doing. I've worked with properties where we shot every buck as a yearling below 6 points. On those properties where we're trying to produce only a very few top-notch, the very best possible bucks you can produce. On the other side of that is we've got a lot of operations I've dealt with where you don't shoot any spikes. So it's one of those situations where you're talking about spikes, it really all depends. It depends on your management goals, it depends on the quality of that habitat, it depends on your short-term goals, but also your long-term goals.
For more on spike bucks and other management questions, log on to versuscountry.com.
I found a good spot that I felt like I could sit and kind of halfway be hidden, yet still see a lot of country and see this long, relatively narrow sendero. And I'm sitting there and, you know, things are still early in the afternoon and gives me a chance to kind of think about some of the other hunts, and particularly the hunt that I did here last year. I've been hunting on Gary's Ranch now for several years. Again, like I said, it's my favorite whitetail place in the world.
One of Weishuhn's favorite whitetail techniques, especially when hunting from a ground stand, is to use the scent covering and attractant qualities of buck bomb spray, both to hide himself and to draw deer in.
Five good long tines on the right, at least 5 or 6 on the left. But I need a better look at him. I'm trying to shoot at least a 5-year-old deer. And there's some big 4-year-olds here. God, he's good. Oh, he's not big-bodied. Naked chest past his point of his jaw. Didn't have any jowls at all. Got a top, straight top, straight bottom. I think he's about a 4. He could be 5, but I think I'd be stretching it. Oh, he's got me pegged. That wind is blowing right toward him. The breeze has switched. It was out of the south, now it's out of the west. Probably really fortunate he's got me pegged and I can't get my shooting sticks moved around, because I'd be tempted on that one. Oh my goodness, what a deer. Oh my God, to pass up bucks like that. It'll almost give you a heart attack right there. That buck in particular I looked at, and I looked at him so hard last year, and I tried my best in the world to make that deer look like he was 6 years old. And finally, you know, to me, it's like looking at a buck, and if he doesn't immediately make you want to shoot him, you know, it's probably not the one that you're looking for. Well, there's no doubt this deer had the antlers that I was looking for, but he just didn't have the age. So I kind of made myself a promise, you know, next year, that being this year, when I come back somewhere during the time that I'm here hunting, I'm going to try to go see if I can find that buck somewhere.
Always heard things were bigger in Texas.
And they were right. Look at those bucks and those big racks.
Racks? I was talking about your hat.
Oh man, what do you do? Maybe the biggest deer I've ever had a chance at in Texas.
Winchester's World of Whitetail is brought to you by the Dallas Safari Club, promoting conservation, education, and ethical hunting worldwide. Nikon, the trusted name in optics. Winchester Ammunition, the American legend. Thompson Center, America's master gunmaker. Cabela's, the world's foremost outfitter. The Buck Bomb blows away traditional scents. Bad Boy Buggies, they'll never hear you coming. And by Wild Game Innovations, nutrition, attraction, and action.
Last year on the Machen Ranch, Larry Weishuhn made the hard decision to pass a great buck that was too young.
But oh my God, to pass up bucks like that.
But now, that buck has had another year to reach full maturity, so no passing it up this season.
That was a big buck. So I kind of made myself a promise, you know, next year, that being this year, when I come back somewhere during the time that I'm here hunting, I'm going to try to go see if I can find that buck somewhere. Couple, 3 young bucks out there. Boy, they are really going into that acorn rage that we put out there a while ago. Here comes a buck. He's chasing that doe. Way down there. Oh my God. That is a big deer. He's coming this way. I know he's older than 4. But I'm gonna try to shoot a deer out here unless he's at least 6. He's gonna come in closer. And I can't tell where he is right there, whether he's a 5 or 6. I know he's mature. He's got a broken brow. Deer though. There's got to be 21, 22 inside. Oh man, what do you do? Shoot him or watch him? I think right now I'm just going to watch him. I may regret this. I'm gonna let him go if he comes back out a second time. He's coming back. Oh man, I just can't tell for sure. He's one of those deer that is so big in antlers, but his body, one of those deer I want to shoot, but not sure yet. He'll come a little closer. Oh God, they made the decision for me and walked off again. He comes back out again. I think I'm gonna have to take him. He is so wide, so long. Gosh, I think it's coming. Oh my God, it's him. It's him. Slow down, slow down. He's just a deer. Oh yeah, no doubt. He's 6 years old, at least. He's big. Maybe the biggest deer I've ever had a chance at in Texas. Turn broadside. Don't get in too big a hurry. He's just a deer. Oh, there he's turning broadside now. I'm gonna take him. He's down. Oh my God, he's down. He went right down. Oh my God, what have I done? This is the biggest whitetail I've ever shot in Texas. I mean, there's no question about it. Of course, I walk up to him. He's got 4 points up on each side. He's got a long brow tine. He does have that broken brow tine. He's 6, 7 years of age. He spent his entire time in cactus and open country like this. He's dealt with coyotes and bobcats, you know, and evaded hunters, even though he was relatively safe here because he wasn't old enough to shoot. But I mean, you think about all the fights this buck's been into. He's got a little bit of a scarring on his nose and just absolutely beautiful cape. It's just one of those deer that, you know, I've always dreamed about taking, particularly in South Texas. I've taken some good deer in other states, but it just seemed like I could not find a good deer in Texas that was old enough. You know, to finally be able to take a deer that to me is truly a dream buck when it comes to South Texas as far as the typical is concerned, it's just hard to put in words. It really truly is. Set the deer up in the cooler overnight, thankfully. Took him out the next morning, got our photographs, 2 dark take photographs the night before. You know, with a deer like that, you just want to get as many photographs as you possibly can, or at least I do. Finally got finished with all the photography, loaded him on back to the pickup, drove into Pearsall to the Los Cazadores store, and particularly the deer contest, and had one of the young men that works for us there score this deer, and I'm making sure, by golly, that he scored just right. You know, I'm not concerned at all, but I want to be involved in it. Finally get it all scored up. It's 176. That's without that other brow tine. And last year I passed up a buck very similar, not quite as wide, not quite as massive, but he had a big long point growing from right outside of the brow tine, just kind of from the brow tine going forward, like a 10-inch tine. I look, and there's a spot where that kind of tine very possibly could have been broken off. I mean, it was a broken off tine. And the way it looked, and I got to looking a little bit, and last year that deer had a drop tine on the opposite side of where that extra point went up. And you could tell there's a little blading right there, like he might have wanted to put on a drop. There are a lot of similarities, and I am not so sure, and almost actually I'm certain that it's the buck that I passed up the year before. I wish there were a way to tell for sure.